Atamikie mamo Ufa Ndakie mamo Ambuleti bumanume Kosi ekolo Olela matakala Lefatsili tu Bekile Tu sa Ndakie mamo Oh yo yo Ndakie Zetsile, itemale pelile, amandla pelile, tandaza, 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 mhlaba ngibonile, izinto ngizenzile, itemale pelile, amandla pelile, tandaza, 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 tandaza.
Hello everyone and welcome to this Champions live stream. I hope you are all doing good. Please give me a confirmation if you can all hear me. And yeah, as you can see, today I am hosting the Champions stream. And yeah, we're gonna have a look at Bitcoin. I also want to have a quick look at Ethereum, maybe some altcoins, and I intentionally did not update my Bitcoin chart yet, so I want to start fresh and mark out some levels. I'm going to do the same for Ethereum. So yeah, we can have a look at the charts and yeah, do some fresh analysis. So, what we can see here, actually nothing much has changed since it was Wednesday where we did the roundtable stream, and there I was giving my update on Bitcoin. What I was looking for was a local pullback into the daily right here. I was considering this a valid long trade entry, and we can see that played out very well indeed. So that is already a bounce of 2%. Sound is perfect. Thanks for the confirmation. That is a bounce of 2%, and in my opinion, if Bitcoin tries to hold this higher low, we shouldn't really be seeing this low taken again, because if we take that low once more, I would expect to see the move into the overall local low right here at 56,400. Okay, so that was a very valid entry. I'm also going to update all of that here because what I was saying on, just as a bit of a recap of what I was saying on Wednesday, was that if we get the bounce here, I would be interested in holding onto this trade. I would even try to hold this trade for a new all-time high if that is given, obviously. But what I have to be very careful about is a potential retest of this big range. Let me actually go on the daily time frame for this. A retest of the big range value area low for then continuation to the downside. So that is something I'm going to update here today and see what's most likely. So yeah, but that's already nice to see that this trade is in play and we already started to see the bounce. There was no daily close below. That's nice to see. So looking at this daily close, it does look good. Okay. But let me hide this, put this into a box, and that is, I want to call the swing long even. So let's see, that is a top tap monthly. I'm going to update all of that, obviously. That is the CC still valid. My time frame NPOC, so I'm gonna hide this, hide that, and let us start with marking out the monthly level. So this retest right here was based off the monthly that we tapped already. Okay, so we can see that was the monthly at 60,637. That one was tapped. I was looking for the retest, so by now I would actually delete this level. That monthly is tapped, no new monthly, but we only have, is tomorrow the 1st of July? Let me actually see. That's good, because then I could probably already mark it out. Yeah, tomorrow is the 1st of July, so let me mark this out as monthly. We do have to wait for the daily close today, but I would say it's rather unlikely to see the rise into 67,000 today. That would be a 10% rise. Anything can happen, obviously, but I'm gonna mark it out and yeah, just note down that tomorrow I have to double check if this actually is a monthly or not. So that's already nice to see. 67,500 exactly. What a nice number. So that's gonna be a key level. That's too clean, actually. But let's see. So there is also a fresh weekly up here. Well, it's very unlikely that we're gonna see a new weekly being formed tomorrow. So for that, we obviously would need to trade all the way up above the weekly open. So that would equal a 3% rise. If that was the case, then yes, we have a fresh weekly up here. But there's nothing I want to mark out as of now. So those are my new high time frame levels. Gonna put that into this box. What was this key level? Okay. Let's also check, what I want to do, I want to check the 3-day time frame as well, because I think that I've shared it with you a couple of times already, but the most common high time frame levels we look at are the monthly, the weekly, and the daily. But what I also found is that the 3-day time frame, so the 3-day, so you can set that up yourself in TradingView, just look at the 3-day time frame. These levels are also pretty well respected, so I'm just gonna show this to you real quick. If we look at the 3-day time frame, we can see that here. That was a perfect retest of the 3-day high time frame level here. We can do the same for up here. This is also a 3-day level, and we can see that was the high of the move here. Yeah, and that just goes to show we shouldn't sleep on the 3-day levels either. So I am going to have a look at these as well today. Let me see. Let's turn on the high time frame levels again. We do have a 3-day level right at the weekly. So here in this instance, I don't have to mark out both because the weekly is always a better level than the 3-day because it's more high time frame. But there's a 3-day level right above. I want to mark this out for now, and then I'm gonna clean them up to see if I want to delete some levels. But for now, let's keep it on the chart there. This 3-day is tapped. We do have a 3-day below this weekly down here. There's a 3-day, but that's the weekly already. Let me see. I also want to mark out this 3-day down here for now. And I don't want to go lower than this for today, to be honest with you. So, and that is nice. And let's go down to the daily now. That was the daily exactly. That's nice. Here we tapped the daily. At the same time, we formed a new daily, which we can see here. Okay, so that daily ended in a bounce, forming a new daily down here. We do have a daily up there. Likely that I'm going to delete this, but for now, I want to mark out all the levels and then see if I can, yeah, clean my chart up a little bit. There's a daily up here. Also likely that I will delete that after doing some more analysis, but at first let's stick with all the levels. This 3 day is also a daily. Nothing I want to mark out down there. So let's do this. And the next step for me is to look at new NPOCs. So let's go over to ATAS for that. And I want to have a look at the weekly first. BTC, USD. And let's see. 150 ticks is good for me on the weekly time frame. That was actually untested weekly value area low as well. So there was some decent confluence down here. We have to acknowledge this. And actually, I want to show you this level on TradingView. So 58,875. Give me a second. This was value area low. So if we go over to TradingView once more, this was also a weekly value area low. So we can just see the confluence down here was pretty good. So I would definitely not consider short trades down here, especially if we look at the swing trading ideas. That's not a place to look for short trades. And that was also part of the reason why I was interested in taking this long trade here. Because, yeah, we are actually at key support, and losing this could become a little bit more bearish. So we have to be aware of this range low or this SFP type scenario here. But if that is lost, we could see some follow through to the downside. So it's actually pretty important that we hold this low if we want to see higher on Bitcoin. So that's nice. Let's have a look at this. We are trading above this week's point of control, so there might be a new weekly naked point of control, but I kind of don't want to mark this out yet because it can still trade above and below and hover around this level, so it doesn't really make sense to mark this out as of now. We have a weekly naked point of control at 65,100. Let me see. Yeah, that's not marked out yet, so 65,100, and that's a new NPOC, or at least one I haven't marked out yet. Okay, let's go back to ATAS here. I already marked out the upper ones, so let me see this real quick. The daily, weekly. I want to change this to a monthly real quick because we're going to close this month today. So let me see. This is a weekly. Let's go to the monthly and see where we are trading. Wow, we're trading very far away from this monthly point of control, and that's very likely that this is not going to change today, so I can mark this out as a monthly point of control, naked point of control at 69,450. So let's do this over here. What was it? 69,450. And that is the naked point of control. I'm going to double check this tomorrow as well. But yeah, I would say it's fairly unlikely that we're going to trade all the way up there today. Here it's also going to be interesting, and actually something I want to have a look at as well. So this previous month value area low, for now it's still the monthly value area low, but let's see if that might be a key area as well. So that's at 64,000, and let's just call it 400. 64,400. I also want to have a look at this. 64,400. Okay, I am going to mark this out and then I'm going to clean up my chart afterwards. So it is monthly value area low, or let's call it previous month at 64,400. Okay, so let's go back to Atlas again. And by the way, if you have any questions, just pop them in the questions section in here. So I opened the Q&A, so you can post any questions you like. So let's go back to the weekly for this profile and check the weekly value real quick. Okay, yeah, no, I'm gonna check that tomorrow, and I also wanna have a look at daily naked point of control. So Bitcoin. So what is this? Let's go down to a 50 tick. All right, so there is a naked point of control right at this daily again. I'm gonna mark it out for now, so 60,200. 60,200 and above. There's one at 69,200. There's also, that's also, by the way, this one is right at the previous month point of control. Oh, for now, it's still the monthly point of control, but there's going to be some confluence up there, and the one at 70,000 is already marked out. So let's have a look at this here. Where did the day open? With the daily open down here, value already building above previous day's value area high. Okay, so that is still looking good here. If in a long trade, that looks good. This move to the upside. Let's see. I want to have a look at this real quick. In terms of structure, I like how we saw this impulse to break above the VWAP. Okay, so I'm going to keep this in mind and go back to trading view so I can hide this. That was just for context building. And now let's look for confluences. There's quite a lot here. I already know this daily is not really important to me, so I'm gonna hide it or delete it. This daily is not important to me because we have the monthly right on the naked point of control below. I prefer this area. And let me have a look at the fixed range here. I'm gonna include the entire volume. All right, so point of control, that's going to be a big level at 67,500. That's going to be a very big level to claim. That's very important. All right. This daily, not important to me. Let's have a look up here. I don't really feel like it is probable to put in another lower high up here, although there is some nice confluence on this naked point of control area in the 3-day level. But at this point, I would really think to myself that it would be much better to take the highs. So for now, I wouldn't be too focused on this and actually hide these areas. If anything, I would want to see a high that's put in below the value area high, because otherwise it's best to take the liquidity. We all know Bitcoin, more often than not, it likes to take the liquidity. So let's keep this in mind. There is some confluence here on the naked point of control, but I don't feel this is going to be a high time frame. Pullback may be something for the day trade. So what I'm trying to do here, by the way, is to clean my chart up and only look for the levels where I would actually be interested in swing trades. So if we look at this, let's just think to ourselves, if that ends in a nice bounce, we get a bit of a pullback here on the value area low, but overall we end in a reclaim of the value area low. there is a chance that we get a bit of a pullback around the 65,100 area because we have this anchored VWAP right on this weekly naked point of control. However, I wouldn't feel that it's very probable that we are doing a full-blown reversal at this area. What I would be more, or what seems to be more probable for me, is to maybe get an intraday rejection here, so I could look for some intraday trades, but overall then end in the retest of the value area low, something like this. So I'm not going to consider this area as a swing trading area. Okay, so that's why I am going to hide this level again, because I wouldn't be interested in the swing trade. Let's hide this. This anchored VWAP is going to be the same for this. Okay, so we are left with these levels up here. And let's check this on the CC. There is going to be massive resistance around this big range point of control. That is very, very big resistance. Very big resistance. So I'm thinking to myself here, if I hide these levels once again, we can see this 67,000 area has been a very, very critical level throughout the last, let's have a quick look. Yeah, let's just call it 80 days. So if we just draw a box here and hide everything else, that is going to be very easy to see. So we had the first rejection here, second rejection here, third rejection at the 67,000 level. Then we finally flipped the level and it was acting as support once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Then we lost and retested this area once again. So in my opinion, this is still going to be a very key level. If we reject here, that makes sense because it is such a critical level. But if we reclaim the 67K area, I don't really feel that any resistance that is sitting up here is gonna end in a lower high. I think if we claim the 67K area again, I would honestly look for a new high because this would be such a big sign of strength. So with that in mind and with this thought process in mind, I would also not be too interested in this area up here, although there is some nice confluence around this weekly and monthly naked point of control. But the first key area to claim is actually this monthly on the weekly naked point of control. So I'm going to hide everything again. Don't want to remove it, but only hide it. Because I always like to keep my charts as clean as possible when I look for my trades. So that looks nice. Where was this? That was the fixed range. And let's just look at the swing long in here. So that is a scenario. I want to hide this once again. I would probably be interested in hedging this trade around this key resistance at 67,500. Because at this point, the good thing is that I'm already in the long trade and whatever happens at this area is not too important for me. So I would be interested in this hedge trade because there is a high probability of putting in the lower high around this previous or this range point of control on all the confluences we have up here. And if that is the case, we can also think a little bit about range rotations, because at this point we would see the reclaim of the value area low. But if we reject the point of control, there actually is a high probability to at least take this previous low once again. So in my opinion, context-wise, this is the biggest and most important resistance where if we get the rejection, I would say it increases the probability significantly to see these lows being tested. So that's what I'm going to look at, and this is how I would be interested in hedging my long trade from down here. So yeah, as I said, if this is claimed, I would look for the new high. And this is the trades I would look at, or I'm considering taking in between this range. And then I obviously have to look at trades if we trade above or below the range low. So let me just call this short hedge. So swing long and short hedge, that is these trades in between. And then it's going to be very easy. I can actually hide everything. Also the CC and this. And if I look at this as a simple range, the next areas, okay, and that's also, oh, that's actually above. No, I was just thinking if that's also lining up with the middle of the range, but it's not. And yeah, the most obvious trades, if we look at this, are obviously if we see the SFP of the range high. It could also be a failed auction, obviously, so this would be the SFP, or we get some price action above, then we lose the level and end in a failed auction. That's obviously also a valid short trade. So let me see. Here I would keep it very simple. If I get follow through, we have to keep in mind this would be a new all-time high. That means I wouldn't try shorting the all-time high. I would only short on a sign of weakness, obviously. And then range, middle of the range is a first target. And then even try to aim for a full range rotation here into the range low. So this would be the scenario for the upside. Range high, short, very easy setup as always. And we can look at the same for the downside, obviously, if we see a failed auction or swing failure pattern of the range low. This is also a very valid setup, and this is what I would look at if we lose this long trade here. So that is going to be my next area. Stop loss is not yet given, by the way, so I need to see how deep is going to be the test of this previous low, if we even get the reclaim or the close above, and then I would obviously look for the long trade down there as well. So let's call this range low long. Like so. Very easy trades. Let's also have a quick look at some levels below this. Are there any high time frame levels? The next pit stop is probably going to be 51,000. I want to check some anchored VWAPs. We are above this. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, this one is definitely going to be the next bigger support if the range low doesn't hold. I would expect to see the move into the 51,000. So let's see, is that also lining up with the CC down there? Yes, so yes it is. So the next key level, if range low does not hold, is going to be 51,000. It's going to be a zone all the way down to, I would actually like to see the 50,000 level being taken out and then see the reclaim. So this is something I can already prepare myself for. I don't want to be looking at too many trades for now, because we already have this trade going. This is the next area of interest. And the third area of interest is obviously this weekly here. But yeah, if we get there, we can update our charts and look at the price action down here. And above, since there's no resistance or no data yet, there's no major resistance above. Actually, if we take this high once more, there was one key level I was looking at, which was sitting at, let me remind myself, at 74,846. Yeah, but that's right at the range high, so that I don't have to focus on this one too much. And yeah, the only trade I would be interested on the short side up here is actually the range failed auction or the range high failed auction, or SFP. So we do have pretty clean levels to be looking at on Bitcoin. I do like all the levels I was looking at today. So we have to obviously be a little bit more patient on Bitcoin, since it does take a lot of time to reach these areas. But for me, it's worth to wait for the high probability trades. I don't really want to look at too many scalp trades in between, because it's just so slow. We can see that here. I don't want to scalp trade this, and rather wait for the high probability trades. So that is actually all I wanted to look at for Bitcoin. So that is, two more long trades I'm interested in. If this one gets invalidated, one short trade, two short trades, that's good. That's a good ratio, in my opinion, to be prepared for everything. That's good. Let me do one more thing. I want to have a look at this overall anchored view up here. Okay, that's coming in much lower, so I don't have to look at this yet. And now, if you want, we can also have a look at Ethereum. If there are any questions, just pop them in the chat. As I said, let me see, is there anything already? No questions yet, that's also fine. And we can have a look at Ethereum here. So Ethereum does look very similar to Bitcoin, to be honest. Also, nothing has changed since my last update. We didn't quite get the pullback into the long entry. So what we did get on Bitcoin, we didn't really get on Ethereum, but that's not a problem. If we remind ourselves, this area right here was the previous supply. So it was supply once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. So this is a valid supply zone. I was looking into the supply into demand flip, which we got here. We had additional confluence with the CC. So it was right at the 618. We can see that here. If we go to the daily time frame, we can see this was also the value area low of this entire range. And now let's have a look at the high time frame levels here. So I want to update all of that as well. So this is the long idea. I want to put this into a box. Let's even swing long on the retest, like so. High time frame levels. I'm going to update all of that now. Let's see if we are going to get a new monthly. Yeah, probably we will get one up here. This will come in at 3,762. Let's check the weekly. No new weeklies as of now. There is a daily above here. Actually, that might be an interesting one on the lower time frames. No daily, no daily there, no daily, no daily. Okay, let's check the NPOCs over here. USD. All right, so 3,510. That one is already marked out, but I want to go down to 100 tick. That's at 15. This one is marked out. So let's have a look at the monthly as well for Ethereum, because we are going to close the month. 3,515. That's actually right on the weekly, so I don't have to mark that out yet. There is untested at 30,070. Too far away in my opinion. Let's also check the daily MPOCs real quick. And here I want to go down to, let's go down to the 20 tick on Ethereum. Okay, this one 30,455. Now there's the weekly above. I don't want to mark this out. And then there's nothing new. So I'm obviously marked all of this out during my altcoin streams already. So there's nothing else I have to update here. Let's see the confluences. I'm still under the same perspective. Although there is so much support down here, I don't really feel this area is gonna hold if I look at these lows. Look at the liquidity we are having below these lows. I don't feel that this is gonna be another lower high in this area. But I really don't like all of these levels. That is too many levels for me. Let me hide this. That is on this as well. Okay. Value area low, slight shift here. Okay, this NPOC is right on the big range point of control as well. I was thinking this daily might be interesting because it's lining up with this previous demand. For this, I need to go down some time frames. This fixed range is not too interesting, honestly. Let's go down to the 4-hour time frame and look at some more local pulls. If I even include this. Okay, yeah, this NPOC is going to be very important. see this in the daily, but above, what is the, oh, didn't mean to do this. Let's check the 7.5 for the monthly above. That's going to be a fresh level, and I do like this. Okay, right on the 7.5. So I can hide this. I can delete this daily because I don't like it. I'm not going to trade this. I can hide this because I wouldn't trade this anyway. And now let's check this as well. Yeah, this NPOC is going to be key on Ethereum. This NPOC is going to be key. Also on the 7.5. Okay, why is this NPOC key? I want to hide all of these for now. If we simply look at market structure, what we can see is price started to shift market structure to bearish on Ethereum. And if we look for a continuation of this trend, in my opinion, this NPOC is such a key level, because what I just said, we do have some decent confluence. If we look at this entire range, it's the value area low. If we look at the small previous range, that is the point of control. It's right on the 7.5 for this local price action. So it's going to be very important to claim this range value area low. And if we manage to do so, I would honestly expect to see the rotation into the point of control, where we are then running into the next biggest resistance locally. So, or even medium term time frame. Because in my opinion, if this monthly is claimed, I would look for a new high on Ethereum. Let me have a look. Yes, I would look at a new high if this area is claimed. That is such a key area next. So let me see. What if I look at this? Oh, wow, that's right on the 7.5 as well. Okay. This. Okay. Yep, that's nice. So here I'm going to prepare myself for the lower time frames. This long trade is obviously not given on the retest. If anyone was trading this aggressive, very nice, then you are already in the long trade. All I'm covering here is no financial advice, by the way. But the next key area first, where I would only look for a day trade at first, is going to be this NPOC. This would still be aiming for trend continuation. Obviously, this would aim for a new low, and is based off the market structure and the big let's just call it intraday resistance at first, but that might turn into a swing trade even. Okay, 3,515. That's what I'm looking at next. I'm going to call this intraday trade, intraday short. And the next key level is going to be this monthly. I would look at another swing trade up there, because if that area is claimed, I expect a new high on Ethereum. Because if we manage to claim this zone, it's a zone all the way up to the NPOC, by the way, then I would say it's very likely to take the highs. This is what this short trade would look for. Yeah, I like this as well. This is swing short. And I would still keep my long trade from down here open. So this trade is still running. I did not close this long. Okay. So that is a very solid plan in my opinion. I'm going to set an alert for this, alert for that. All right, that is Bitcoin and Ethereum prepared. So that looks pretty nice. Hi Severin, nice stream, thanks. Would you compound the setup on some levels? Oh, wait. My main screen just died. There we are again. Hi Severin, nice stream, thanks. Would you compound this setup on some levels? I don't really know which setup you mean. I would just assume that it is this setup on Bitcoin. Let's have a look at this trade once more in the lower time frame. Yes, it is. Oh, let me bring up some levels again. Looking. What one could do is compound this entry on the reclaim of the value area low. However, I wouldn't do this, honestly. I'm very happy with the long trade I took down here. So for me, there's no need to compound this trade. A sign of strength would obviously be the reclaim of the value area low, but the range is not big enough. If I compound this trade here on the value area low reclaim, it's only a 5% increase into the big resistance at the range point of control. So what I would do, because I'm assuming this question arises because you didn't take the trade down here, which is obviously fine. But in my opinion, the best thing to do if this trade was missed is to wait for some intraday setups. So an intraday setup could be something along this lines where we do get some price action here, we get the reclaim, and one can base a long trade off of the intraday reclaim of the value area low. Here if I was not in a trade, I would have to keep in mind that my stop loss cannot be all the way down here. This would be a terrible risk to reward if we acknowledge that this is key resistance. All I could do at this point is look for something like an intraday invalidation and then manage this trade in a way that if we get the reclaim of the point of control, I'm still holding this trade for higher. Okay, but it's going to be a little bit more tricky to get into this trade because that one was already the perfect entry. So this is how I would manage this. And I'm seeing some requests about Brett. Let me have a quick look at WIF, because this was something I was really interested in and I was looking at in the last altcoin stream, but this is what I was expecting, okay? Very risky to take a long trade if the previous range value area low is not claimed, and we can see previous range value area low, once again acting as resistance here, so we need the reclaim first. And I'm going to have a quick look at Brett. Let me do this. Yeah, that one is too slow. I can probably get rid of this chart and look at Brett. All right. I think I looked at this in the last altcoin stream, but let's do it again real quick. Up here, up there, there's such a big support down here on this anchored VWAP in my opinion. So this anchored VWAP is something I'm very interested in for the long trade. I already covered that in my last alt stream, but okay, there's not going to be a new monthly. There is probably going to be a new weekly. There's a weekly up there even. I'm going to mark this out as weekly already, like this, and call this weekly. There's a daily right on this one, okay. That's a little bit better. So that goes into here. That goes into here. And let's check this on order flow as well. Brett. Bybit futures. That's going to be the monthly first. Let's see if we are right at the monthly point of control. So I don't want to mark this out for now. And let's check the weekly here. No new weekly point of control. We also right at the weekly point of control. So that's probably not going to be a naked point of control. Let's do the dailies. GSDT. $20 tick actually looks good on this one. And let's see, we have a naked point of control at 133. Let's see. I'm gonna mark this out on my other screen real quick. 133. Below the weekly. I don't want to mark these out, they are too far away. Only this lower one, but I don't like this one. And above, there is one at 1892. 1892. 01892. Now let's have a look at this on TradingView. Okay, yeah, what I already said. These anchored VWAPs, we all know that on altcoins, they are pretty well respected. And what I like about this is that is an anchored VWAP for this entire impulse. And we can see we did get one retest, that was a slight front run, but this anchored VWAP hasn't been tested for quite some time. It is right below the range low. It is right at a daily. It's right at the weekly naked point of control as well as a daily naked point of control. In my opinion, that's gonna be a major support. So I am interested in this area for a nice trade if we get there. What I would do for the ones looking or watching my altcoin streams, you all know how I would enter this trade because I have a very simple reference point. I would use this as my SFP reference point down here. If I get the SFP into my box of support, then I would look for a nice long trade here, something like so. This low obviously has to be put in yet, and then I would look for a nice bounce here. So my alert is already set. Not too interested in this short trade as of now, because yeah, we are still, I don't feel that this is looking too weak yet, so I don't want to look at this short trade. So this is the best trade in my opinion, so swing long. But there was also some confluence above. So let's have a look at this as well. I want to check this range. Okay, that's right on the value area low as well. So not gonna lie, but we already gonna see some, or we are seeing some nice confluences around the weekly as well. So let me check this for a local anchored VWAP. It's all the way up there. Okay, let's check this on the 7.5. That's right on the 0.25 if we look at this intermediate pull. Okay, 0.25 right at the weekly. If I look at this, and here I want to look at the CC. This is probably going to be right at the CC. Okay, decent support here already. What is price trying to do? So I can hide this. Price did take these previous highs. We do actually have a low that looks okay. We got the rise, higher low. We did take the highs, higher high in terms of market structure. This is now pivot number 1, 2. Wow, that's not, oh, yeah, I have to redo that. But that is pivot number 2. Pivot number 3 is the confirmed market structure change. And if I get a retest for, at first, this would be an intraday setup, but I could already look for a long trade here as an intraday setup. I could hold for a little bit longer if given. So it's also a very valid setup. To not wait for this level, but also or already look for a long trade around the weekly. No financial advice, obviously. And this would look something along these lines. That's the invalidation. Target would be at least the weekly. Okay, so this is Brett. I do like this setup as well, to be honest. So I'm going to be interested in both long trades. Both long trades look interesting. Let's see this real quick. Nothing special. Okay. Nice one. I'm just gonna go through my list real quick. That one, yeah, from my last altcoin stream, we haven't hit any levels yet. So let's just wait here. Nothing there. Ethereum is planned, Bitcoin is planned. Yeah, so I would say that is what I would look at for the coming weeks even on Bitcoin as well as Ethereum, on some of these altcoins. So I don't see any further questions. Let me check the chat as well. So no, doesn't look like anything. There are no more questions in the Q&A channel here. And yeah, so I would say that this is going to be it for this Champions live stream. I hope you all enjoyed the stream. I'm very much looking forward to seeing how these levels play out, because as I already said, I feel like these levels do look very nice and it's going to be very interesting price action. What I would always emphasize though is that it's always best to wait for the high time frame, high probability pre-planned trades rather than getting caught up in these low probability trades. So if there's no trade down here, if there's nothing on the intraday setups, you have to be a little bit more patient and wait for the bigger trades to come to you. It doesn't make sense to force anything that's not there. And yeah, fortunately, we have enough altcoins to trade every single day that move a little bit more than Bitcoin these days. Yeah, for this, you can obviously always check my altcoin streams because there are some nice setups there. And actually also have a look at the altcoin TA chats or my altcoin requests because there are a ton of altcoins that look interesting. So with that being said, yeah, I wish you all a great rest of the weekend and see you all tomorrow. So until next time, and goodbye.